Thank you to our Seneca Drumline for leading our students into the stadium. I would ask you all to please rise for hear senior Erin Miali as she sings the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Erin. Great job. Good evening, and welcome to our 2021 People's Choice Ceremony. My name is David Mayer, Assistant Principal here at Seneca High School. People's Choice is the chance for our staff at Seneca High School to nominate students for their outstanding accomplishments, a positive attitude, dedication to academics or an activity, or acts of kindness towards one another. We are proud of these students for making Seneca High School a special place. I want to thank our superintendent, Dr. Carol Birnbaum, and our Board of Education for allowing the staff and administration to create a culture here at Seneca that allows our students to flourish. Thank you, parents and guardians, for entrusting your children to us, and more importantly, for all the hard work you have put in to help them become the outstanding young adults that they are. It is my pleasure to introduce Brad Bauer, Seneca High School principal, to say a few words.
Had to pull it down a little farther, Dave. Thank you. Good evening, and thank you for joining us for our People's Choice Awards ceremony. Let me begin by thanking our Renaissance advisors, Ms. Jamie Myers and Ms. Renee Collins, who are here today, not only for this program, but for all the wonderful things they do for our school. I would also like to thank our staff in attendance tonight, back to my right. This evening is not only about recognizing our students, but it's also about you, connecting with our kids and taking the time to allow them to touch your heart. To the students here tonight, congratulations. You are certainly not here by accident. You have done something remarkable. You have touched the life of another person, the most powerful thing you can do. I took the time this evening to read what your teachers had to say about you, and you guys will get a copy of this before you leave, and it was pretty awesome. For some of you, it was just a one-time incident with a teacher. For others, it was either a year-long or a 4-year-long interaction that you shared with one of the teachers behind me. And for some of you, it was just simply a random act of kindness. You see, whether you know it or not, you have the ability to move others. You may not know who nominated you, but you make a difference in the lives of someone, and you may truly know the impact that you have. Tonight, we get the chance to let you know about your impact that you have had on Seneca High School. So on behalf of our entire staff, thank you for touching our lives, for making our job so much more than just a job, and for enriching our lives. Thank you for making Seneca High School a better place, and thank you for being you. Thank you. Enjoy the evening.
Please welcome Mrs. Jackie Scuderi to the podium to present our first People's Choice Award of the evening.
Good evening, everyone. My 2021 People's Choice Award winner is Alexis Letieri. Alexis, come on up. Lexi is a young lady that looks on the bright side of everything and every situation. I first met Lexi this year as she is in one of my classes. Lexi is not only an enthusiastic student, but she is also not afraid to present new ideas in class, aka our National Day of and Would You Rather icebreaker questions at the beginning of every class that she initiated. I got to know Lexi even more once she was convinced, along with her sister and some of her friends, to join the lacrosse team. Not only did Lexi join the team, but she volunteered to be the interim varsity goalie, an unthankful job to say the least. Lexi took on this job with enthusiasm and willingness to learn this new sport and new position, all with a smile on her face. Lexi is a hardworking, ambitious young lady who wants to succeed in all aspects of life. Lexi is my choice for the 2021 People's Choice Award. Lexi. Up next will be Mrs. Melissa.
Good evening. What makes life good? What gives it meaning? For me, one of the answers to that question is human connection. This year, with all of its mandated social distancing, isolation, and mask wearing, has threatened to be a real menace to that connection. I was lucky enough to have Zach Moore in my class this year. What an amazing guy. His friendly, animated, kind manner reassured me every day that, well, this crazy world, it's going to be okay. During the remote learning days, Zach was always the first one to show up on the meet, camera on, with a bright smile asking me, "How are you?" In person now, he's added, "What's new?" to his greeting, and he's genuinely interested in my answer. For the rest of the period, I can count on his eager contributions, his vibrant personality, his enthusiastic interest, and his polite helpfulness. I will never forget how Zach, with his extraordinary warmth and sincerity, brought joy and affirmation to some of the hardest days of my career. He's one of those extraordinary people who has the gift of fostering human connection, even in a mask-covered world. Thank you, Zach. You're one of those very special people who reminds me that life is good. Next up is Miss O'Neill.
Okay, so for my award, we're also going to have it be translated. My People's Choice Award is Alvin Amayo Buezo. Stand up here too. You can come stand up. Ready? Okay, Alvin is not only a new student to Seneca, but is also new to the U.S. He moved from Honduras last year and was just starting school somewhere else when the pandemic hit. Lucky for us, he moved around here and started school this October. Not knowing English and coming from a different kind of school system, I was nervous about how nervous he must feel.
Alvin no solo es un nuevo estudiante en Seneca, pero también llegó recientemente a los Estados Unidos. Él llegó de Honduras el año pasado y estaba apenas comenzando la escuela en otro lugar cuando la pandemia comenzó. Afortunadamente para nosotros, Alvin se mudó cerca de Seneca y comenzó la escuela en octubre. Sin saber inglés y viniendo de una escuela con un sistema completamente diferente, yo estaba nerviosa de pensar lo nervioso que él se debía sentir.
In spite of every obstacle, Alvin has come to school with a smile on his face and wanting to learn as much as possible. He surpassed the goals we set for him in the first half of the year, and each day we see more and more progress. I don't know how, but he never gets frustrated. He just keeps trying with patience.
A pesar de cada obstáculo, Alvin viene siempre a la escuela con una sonrisa y siempre dispuesto a aprender tanto como sea posible. Él sobrepasó las metas que nosotros trazamos para el primer semestre y cada día vemos más y más progreso. No sé cómo, pero Alvin nunca se desespera. Él siempre sigue intentándolo con mucha paciencia.
Alvin is kind, funny, smart, extremely brave, and becoming more confident each day. It has truly been an honor to teach him and see his face light up every time something clicks. I cannot wait to see what else he achieves here at Seneca and in his life. Thanks for being the best, Alvin. Congrats.
Alvin es amable, gracioso, inteligente y extremadamente valiente. Y cada día demuestra más confianza en sí mismo. Ha sido un gran honor enseñarlo y ver su cara de satisfacción cada vez que comprende algo. Espero con mucha ilusión ver qué más logros podrá alcanzar tanto en Seneca como en su vida personal. Gracias por ser el mejor, Alvin. Felicidades.
Next up is Ellen Rondinelli.
Hi, hello. So my People's Choice Award is Payton Chapin. Payton first came into my class last year as a quiet freshman. She was conscientious as a student and was motivated to do a really good job. As the year progressed, she became more outgoing and offered to help me with things like classroom art and organizing. Payton is a very talented artist, and she even helped me to sew some jewels on my daughter's dance costume last year. She did a great job. So when COVID hit, remote learning was very hard on all of us. But Payton continued to complete her work and to manage her grades. She ended up with really good grades. This year, Payton came back full-time. As soon as it was offered to her, she wanted to be there full-time. And she emerged as a classroom leader. She's very kind to her peers and will offer to help me organize material in the classroom and offer to help other students. She's motivated to complete her work and keeps up with her assignments, even during this very difficult year. She is a total pleasure to have in class, and I'm very proud of all of the successes she's experienced here at Seneca and I look forward to seeing her successes in the future. Congratulations. Let me just see next. Next up is Mrs. Meehan.
Hello. I selected Erica Miali as my People's Choice Award. Come on up, Erica. Erica has incredible perseverance that truly inspires me, and her can-do attitude is something that we all can learn from. Anyone that has had Erica in class knows how special she is and that she has always handled her adversity with courage and grace. In addition to Erica's determination and strength, she is one of the most well-mannered and polite students I know. Congratulations, Erica. Up next is Kirk Seeley.
Good evening, everybody. I want to nominate Addison Rivera, so come on up. As long as I'm up here, you're up here too. All right, there are not many students who tell you they are keeping and writing a book on you, and there are probably fewer who are actually doing it. I believe the student is officially keeping a book on me. Addison Rivera, you're my People's Choice winner. I anxiously await your sure-to-be best-selling book full of incredibly relevant quotes, infinite wisdom, and an absolute goldmine of humor. Thank you for your work on the morning show. Thank you for grimacing through each of my jokes. Last of all, thank you for proving me right to my family when I declare a book should be written about me. Be sure to wear your People's Choice Award to graduation, and be sure to bring me one incredible book. Thank you, Addison. Congratulations. Next up, Mrs. Lambusta.
Hi, everybody. Paige Venable is my People's Choice recipient. Come on up. Although Paige is a student in my English 2 honors class this year, I actually met her last year when she became involved with our school's yearbook and newspaper clubs, both of which I co-advise. Paige is the kind of person who brings a sense of passion and purpose to each endeavor. She faces adversity head-on and never stops learning and growing, whether that be through academics, extracurricular activities, sports, or volunteer work here at Seneca and within her community. It is no exaggeration to say that our school's newspaper and yearbook publications would not have been the successes they are without Paige's dedication, creativity, persistence, and organization. I'm honored to know her, and I'm proud to present her to you as my People's Choice recipient. And up next, Mr. Sam Myra.
Hello, everyone. My People's Choice is Stephen Bond. I always pick a senior for this award. This year, I had no choice but to break tradition. I'm not going to lie. Most of you talking tonight are going to talk about how kids made you smile and made me cry. Give a man a fish and you feed him today. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. Midway through this school year, Stephen was at an all-time academic low point. As we entered the third marking period, his dad and I had a discussion. And his dad basically gave me the keys to the car and said, "He's yours, say what you want, do what you want, just fix this kid." I said, okay, you sure? Because I'm going to be honest. He said, please, he needs to hear some honesty. So I was blunt. I removed the excuses. I put total responsibility on him. I told him a story. I said, Stephen, I was thinking about you this weekend. I ran into a student that I haven't seen for 10 years, and this kid is doing awesome, really great. And I said, Stephen, what's going to happen when I run into you in 10 years? I said, in fact, what's going to happen next year, because you're going to be repeating this year if you keep going at it like you do. So he asked me, he said, why am I failing, and what do I have to do to get my grades up? And I thought about that expression about teaching a man to fish versus giving him a fish. And I said to him bluntly, I said, you figure it out. And he looked at me, and the meeting was over. Weeks later, we were having a totally different conversation. I brought him in the weekend before the end of the third marking period. His grades were good. Not great, but good. I told him how close he was to honor roll. As he was leaving my office, I said, hey, have a good weekend. What are you doing, by the way? And he said to me, I guess I'm doing schoolwork until I get these grades where they need to be. For sake of time, let's just say, when I see Stephen, he makes me smile like no other have in a long, long time, because I'm so proud of him. Stephen, tonight, I want to thank you for letting me have this victory of not having to wait 10 years to see someone turn themselves around. The recent honor roll letter and bumper sticker your parents received in the mail show that you, young man, have learned to fish. Next up, Lexi Cuneo.
My People's Choice nominee is Claudia Crane. Claudia is such a hardworking student in the classroom and out. She is always a delight, and I always enjoy our conversations, especially how they always turn into talking to pets. Claudia is such a genuine person and has a great heart. She is one of the most appreciative and polite students I have ever met. Claudia, you have grown so much this year, and I can't wait to see what next year and the future holds for you. Up next is Mrs. Barney Horner.
Good evening. My People's Choice goes to Will Felcher. This young man is not only one of the brightest science students I have ever had in my many years teaching, but also one of the most personable, humble, and kind young persons that I have taught. I had Will both his freshman and sophomore years, and this year when he wasn't in my class, I just really missed him, so I needed to bring him tonight. Good luck, Will, in your future endeavors, and I am blessed to have been a part of your science foundations.
Good evening, everyone. My People's Choice goes to Carolyn Hanley. everything's going on with this. So by the way, before I start, every time I see Carolyn, she has a different hair color. So I think that's pretty impressive in itself. So anyway, someone once said, all stars are born in the dark, and all darkness dies in the light. Carolyn Hanley is one of those rare individuals that lights up your life, even if it's only been for a moment. Carolyn is invested and truly embraces the Seneca mantra because she gives everything of herself to make our school a better place. Carolyn is bright, kind, and has many talents that sets her apart from others. I've had the pleasure of being Carolyn's counselor, and it has been a rewarding experience to see her realize her potential and inspire others to realize theirs. I have no doubt that Carolyn will continue to shine like a star throughout her life and light up any darkness that she faces. Thank you. I almost said it too. Up next is Mrs. Heather Gardner.
I'm hoping the mic doesn't go out on me. Okay. My People's Choice recipient is no other than the talented and beautiful Delaney and Singer. I want her to get up here so she knows everything I say. Come on. All right. I have known Delaney for 17 years, and during that time, I have watched her grow into a beautiful young woman on both the inside and out. Delaney is a young woman who goes above and beyond. When she sets her sights on a goal, she puts in her time, energy, and effort to achieve her goal. Delaney is a leader on the gymnastics team. She has been on the varsity team since her freshman year and is one of the team's top scorers, leading the Seneca gymnastics team to win conference champs, yes, conference champs, for the second time, and that was in 2019. As a result of her charisma and positive energy, her peers look up to her and value. Delaney is caring and demonstrates a friendly attitude and always strives to help others. Delaney, I am honored to know you and to be a part of your life. You are good stuff. Next up is Jamie Myers.
My People's Choice recipient for this year is Hannah Obajinski. During what we could call the most challenging school year most of us have ever experienced, Hannah went above and beyond every single day. She gave 110% every class period. Showing me how much she cares about learning reminded me of why I do what I do. Hannah, thank you so much for being such a hard worker. You probably don't realize it, but you helped me this year perhaps more than I helped you. For real. She's so cute. She said, say who's next. I know. Up next is Mr. Dave Connect.
My People's Choice recipient this year is Keegan Sikora. Keegan is one of our Anti-Defamation League peer trainers, and his energy and enthusiasm for the program has a positive impact on his peers and on staff members. In addition, Keegan manages to balance a challenging academic program with his involvement in several sports and extracurricular activities. Most importantly, Keegan is a good person. He's friendly, humble, and caring. Thank you, Keegan, for all your contributions to the Seneca family, and we look forward to working with you next year.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Congratulations. Our next presenter is Mrs. Jennifer Wolfson.
It is an honor for me to introduce Tess Stripmatter as my People's Choice recipient. I have had the pleasure of knowing Tess since she was a young girl and having her a student in my classroom. It was then that her love of literature and writing was truly showcased. Tess is a role model for her peers, leading class discussions, creating engaging presentations, and being open-minded. This year, I called upon Tess for some help, and she jumped right on board, filming a fantastic video and visiting my classes to discuss a poem she wrote, which, by the way, was a class favorite. Tess's strong work ethic and her compassionate, thoughtful, beautiful heart is always something I truly admired. Whatever she does, she puts 1,000% into it. Tess, I can't wait to see what your future holds, and I have no doubt it will be filled with much success. Our next presenter is Miss Judy Meyer.
Hi, everyone. When I think of the word resilient, this young lady is the first person to come to mind. Val Ceruta. When Val first came to Seneca last year in January, I fell in love with her spunk and her positive attitude. She certainly had her ups and downs outside of school, but she was open and honest and participated in our class as if she had been there since September. This year, I'm fortunate enough to see Val twice a day. She continues to amaze me with her maturity in the face of some very difficult situations. She's incredibly self-reflective, and when things get hard, she examines how she can change to make things better. I know you may not be with us next year, Val, but I know you will continue to thrive wherever life takes you, and I hope you keep in touch. Congratulations. You're well deserving of this People's Choice. Sorry, Dr. Sean Castle is next.
All right, so my People's Choice Award winner is Hunter Wurl. So Hunter's a quiet kid by nature, so it may surprise you that Hunter's an avid lover of all things 80s and 90s. He plays a mean guitar, for those of you who saw his Jimi Hendrix-esque national anthem last year at the wrestling match. And he can probably recite most classic films of my generation. He's an old soul for sure, but he's also a great kid. He's kind, caring, and will go out of his way for his friends. I chose Hunter because he's comfortable in his own skin. He can rock out to Nirvana, watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off on repeat, and, by the way, teach himself how to play guitar. I mean, how cool is that? He's the kind of kid, honestly, I wish I was back then. Thank you for being you, Hunter. Next up, Mrs. Lynn Ritter.
Good evening. My nomination for People's Choice is Jory Bauer, as I'm sure he knew that. Not only is he my nominee, partly because he's been such a great member of FCCLA, which is an organization that I took over last year. He's the most active, dependable member. He's a dedicated competitor, which is what FCCLA kind of does. And he represents Seneca in so many amazing ways. He's helped me to make the transition to advisor, but by not only attending all functions, keeping me on track, and letting me know about all the things that FCCLA has to offer. What he probably doesn't realize is that this is the most difficult year in education in my many years, and I teach a hands-on subject, so it's been especially challenging. And I look forward every day to seeing Jory and to seeing what he will come up with, no matter what I challenge him with. He's just a great kid all the way around, and I really enjoy it. He is very independently motivated, and that's a trait that's going to take him far in the world. So congratulations, and he makes me proud every day. Next up, Mr. Brad Bauer.
My People's Choice goes to Nico Bogardus. There are many reasons why I could have chosen Nico to be my People's Choice Award winner. However, it was his hard work, his courage, determination, and resiliency to overcome adversity that stands out the most. As most of you know, Nico has a love for the sport of wrestling. He came into high school and set some lofty goals for himself. During his sophomore and junior seasons, Nico battled through some severe shoulder injuries that would eventually sideline him for a period of time each year. He never gave up, he never complained, and never used it as a crutch. It was during this difficult time that I observed Nico thrive as a leader. Although it was, at times, he was fighting an uphill battle, he continued to work hard, set new attainable goals, and be a good example to his teammates. Although some of his dreams were cut short due to injury and a pandemic, I am so proud of the young man that has emerged during this difficult time. I will miss seeing Nico in the halls of Seneca next year, but I'm equally as excited to see him succeed in the next stage of his academic and wrestling careers. Nico, good luck. Thank you so much. And next up is Greg Bauer.
Good evening. Congratulations to all of our award winners. My People's Choice goes to Kayla Brooks. Kayla is awesome. She enters the classroom every single day, either on the screen or in person, with a cheerful smile and greeting. She gives 110% with everything she does, whether it's in the classroom, helping out with a school event, helping out with the wrestling mats, on the court, or on the fields. Kayla's an outstanding student athlete and an overall outstanding human being who I know will go on to do great things. She makes teachers like me love my job even more than I already do. She deserves this award, and I wish her nothing but the best as she moves on to the next part of her journey. Congratulations, Kayla. You're welcome. You deserve it.
Thank you.
Our next presenter is Mr. Anthony Diorio.
Good evening. The person that I am nominating is someone that I have not had in class,
but had the pleasure of coaching in football for 2 seasons. This individual is what the People's Choice Awards are all about. He is not only a natural leader amongst his peers, but he is one of the most selfless, hardworking people I have met during my time here at Seneca. As a coach, I could count on this player to always do the right things. His positive influence trickled down to his teammates, which has helped create a strong culture for players in the years to come. My People's Choice Award goes to Mac Carlin. Up next, Miss Tracy Batts.
Good evening. My People's Choice nominee this year is Tyler Chaudhry. If you ever had the pleasure of speaking with Tyler, chances are you discussed music. Tyler loves listening to, analyzing, writing about, talking about music. In an essay for class, he said, "Music is no longer simply background noise. It is a narrative or an extremely powerful almanac that answers the questions that keep me up at night." I love the way Tyler approaches the world, always seeking to learn more. To quote Kanye West, and I can't believe I'm quoting Kanye West, only for Tyler, my greatest award is what I'm about to do. I can't wait to see what you do. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. That's amazing.
Next up is Miss Johanna Metzger.
Hello, everyone. My 2021's People's Choice Award proudly goes to Miss Georgia Cooper. This student is the very first student that I have had every year in some realm here at Seneca. I have had the pleasure of having her as a biology student, a JV soccer captain, and a shoot the lights out varsity basketball player. Watching this young woman blossom as an underclassman into this strong, independent woman as a senior has been extremely special. Georgia Cooper, you always manage to find a way to make me laugh, and that personality of yours will take you very far in life. Thankful to have had grown so close to you. Go get 'em in your next chapter, lady. Next up, Miss Devine. I'm so proud of you. Such an easy choice.
My People's Choice for this year is Will Decker. I met my nominee on his first day as a freshman at Seneca. Will is now a senior. Will would come to school by bus every day, arriving at 7 a.m., and proceed to throw his backpack down and nap on the gym floor while waiting for classes at 7:30. I would wake him up each day and send him to his sports locker for football or wrestling, and then on to class. This year, Will drives to school, so I see him as he enters for temperature screenings. One day, he was a few minutes late, and I asked if he was okay and recommended setting his alarm a few minutes earlier. He apologized, stating he misjudged his time. He had gone for a morning run before school, as he had a wrestling match that night and wanted to be in good shape. This shows true dedication to academic and athletics. Will is also extremely polite whenever I see him. Will has had a great career at Seneca with his classes and his sports, football, wrestling, and weight room. He will be joining the military in the Army next year. Thank you, Will, for your dedication and service. Stay safe. Our next presenter is Mr. Bob Colombo.
Good evening. My People's Choice Award winner this year is Bella Fidelity. When choosing someone for the People's Choice Award, I always try to think of someone who can positively impact others. My People's Choice this year is a student who makes class fun, works extremely hard, and always has a smile on her face. She has a friendly demeanor, an optimistic attitude, and she never forgets to say hello in the hallway. Even if I'm like at the complete opposite end, I can still hear Bella, "Hey, Colombo." She's the epitome of the perfect Seneca student, excellent in the classroom, involved in many activities, and a stud on the athletic fields. I'm proud to announce my 2021 People's Choice Award winner is Bella Fidelity. Next up is Mrs. Casey McHugh.
My People's Choice for this year is Marissa Forti. Sorry. I practiced that all day today. As a teacher, we are taught the importance of making connections with our students. As Marissa's teacher, coach, club advisor, the connections we made are the ones that I will cherish forever. Upon meeting Marissa on the hockey field, I knew this student athlete would be somebody I can trust and count on for absolutely anything. It is a wonderful sight to see her join my club, take my elective class. Marissa, I hope you understand the impact you've had on my teaching. Through your hard work, her personality, and of course her smile. As you start the next chapter in your life, I have total confidence in your success at Rutgers next year. Marissa, it's been my pleasure to be your coach, advisor, and most importantly, a teacher these past 2 years. And I will greatly miss you here at Seneca. Always remember you have someone rooting for you to do great things in this world. Congratulations. Next up is Mrs. Jamie Myers presenting on behalf of Mr. Mike Manna.
Okay, so I'm reading for Mr. Manna, but what I'm about to read, I agree with also because this student is in a class that we teach together. So I nominate Mackenzie Hall. So all of his words, I would have said the same exact thing. Come on up. Mackenzie is one of the nicest and sweetest students I've ever taught. She always enters the class ready to learn, ready to say hi, and ask how you are. She's smart, kind, and just a wonderful person who always brightens my day. Congratulations, Mackenzie. After Mackenzie, we have Mrs. Miriam Silva.
had the pleasure to teach this student twice during her years at Seneca. If we talk about perseverance, enthusiasm, and kindness, then I have an easy choice because those are just a few of the qualities that describe my nominee. This student is dedicated to her academics. She comes to class with a great attitude and a big smile. She lifts the mood of the classroom with her positive energy and makes me smile every day. I cannot wait to hear of her success on the upcoming adventures because I'm confident she's ready for it. My People Choice nominee is Jamie Kibler. I knew it. She told me to. Next will be Mrs. Sandy Langen.
My People's Choice is Jacqueline Clocks. Jacqueline, you have been an essential part of Buddy's Club's success. Your participation and leadership has allowed Buddy's Club to be active even during a pandemic. What really stands out to me is your ability to make others feel at ease and how you go out of your way to make other members feel included in all activities. The example that stands out the most to me is when you wrote down the entire marching band's end cheer for Chad so he could learn the words and participate. The huge grin on his face told me that he enjoyed screaming with these guys so much. I also want to thank you for coming to Social Rec and the adaptive PE clubs. The students and I really enjoyed having you there, and we're going to miss you. I was hoping I would make it through that one. Next up is Mrs. Jamie Hill.
Hi. Come on up, Kirsten. I really have such a cool job because every kid I work with, I get to see all through high school. And I have been so lucky to have this student for the last 4 years. She is brilliant, so much math. But more importantly than that, you are funny, sarcastic, kind, honest, and she's more sure of herself at 18 than I am some days at 38. From the first day of her freshman year, she has made each day of my job a fun one. And I've known for 4 years I would embarrass her and cry like she's my own kid when she graduates. So what better way to start than choosing you for this? Kirsten, thank you for being you and for being an amazing human to work with and work for. This is a recurring theme. Next up, Mrs. Kelly Bolger.
My People's Choice has strived and highly succeeded in forging her own path through her 4 years here at Seneca. I met this student as a freshman and new to this area, and I'm so proud of the person she has become. And I cannot wait to hear all about the amazing things Aspen Mizada will do. And next is Mrs. Burke.
Or Beck. There's two of us. My people's choice is Jackie McHugh. I was blessed to both coach and teach my People's Choice Award recipient in his sophomore year of high school. In both settings, he proved to me how much of a well-rounded, good-hearted young man he was. I coached him in spring track as a 400-meter runner. He worked every practice diligently and effectively, and he proved that pushing yourself with hard work pays off. As a sophomore, he proved to himself still to be one of the most dependable and dedicated on the team, and kept up that position as he got older. I also had the joy of being my recipient's Algebra 2 teacher during his sophomore year. Having him young gave me the opportunity to watch him grow into a mature young man and school-wide leader. I feel like there's not a place where you can turn without seeing his face or involvement efforts. He was always the student I could trust and pairing him up with other classmates. He was my go-to student because he had such a can-do attitude. I can honestly say that my People's Choice recipient, Jackie McHugh, is one of the most motivated, self-driven, hardworking teenagers I've ever encountered. He pushes himself to excel and never knocks others down to get there. Wherever life leads him, I know he will make his mark and continue to make places and people better than before they had encountered him. I know he did that with me. Congratulations, Jackie. Up next, Mr. Matt Carr.
My People's Choice Award goes to Haley Melvin. Some years it is difficult to choose someone for such a prestigious award. However, Haley was an easy selection for my People's Choice Award this year. It is no secret that Haley is well respected by her peers, teachers, and coaches. She is selfless, committed, and tenacious. I first met Haley during her freshman year of winter track, and I could tell right away that she would always be the type of athlete who experienced success because she would always outwork her opponents. Haley is easily one of, if not the toughest competitor I've ever coached. She would run through a brick wall for her teammates and coaches. It was truly a special experience to watch Haley break down barriers and use obstacles as fuel to become a successful athlete and an even better human being during her time here at Seneca. Haley, you will be sorely missed around here, and I'm so proud of how far you've come over the past 4 years. I wish you the best of luck in college and beyond. Next up is Miss Lauren Creel.
Good evening, everyone. I'm proud to announce that my 2021 People's Choice is Sarah Mulcahy. I first met Sarah as a shy, insecure sophomore who wanted to be involved with the basketball program. Fast forward 3 years, and here she stands as a confident young woman and one of the best managers in Seneca history. I'm going to share a brief story. There was a moment in Sarah and I's relationship that I knew I wanted to choose her when this year came. We were at an away game at Washington Township High School, and they were honoring those who we've lost from cancer. Sarah was doing the JV book, and I was talking to the varsity players. Unfortunately, we have a couple players on our team who have lost a parent. One of her teammates informed me that Sarah had also lost a parent. And in that moment, I hysterically started crying in front of everyone. And I rushed up to Sarah in the middle of the JV game, gave her a hug. She said, "Coach, what's wrong? Why are you crying?" And it just hit me. It pulled on my heart to know that we never know how strong these kids are and what they're going through. She never said anything, showed up every day, smile on her face. And the second thing I learned in that moment was how much I care about the kids I'm lucky to spend my time after school with. So, Sarah, I'm so proud of who you've become. You have grown up so much over these past few years, and I'm thankful for all you've done for SENGBB. That means more. You've always been so polite, positive, and appreciative. That means more than you know. You are one strong bear, and I know your dad would be so proud. Keep being you, because you are awesome. And next up is Mrs. Erica Myra.
Okay, this is my favorite night of the year, so I'd like to say congratulations to all the nominees. So proud of all of you. People's Choice to me is a time to publicly recognize a student who has touched my life in a special way. I believe teenagers keep us current on the challenges of daily life and societal pressures. I cherish the moments I've spent listening and helping a student navigate and conquer the task at hand. As I present my final People's Choice of my career, I will think I saved the best for last. Please welcome my People's Choice, Miss Kaylee O'Rourke. Where is she? Hello. Mwah. To know Kaylee is to adore her. She is kind, dynamic, creative, and strong. There is an Angela Duckworth quote that I believe is the secret to Kaylee's success. Grit is working on something you care about so much you are willing to stay loyal to it. Kaylee is driven by setting goals, whether they be personal, academic, or career. Kaylee works diligently to master the short-term objective with the fortitude of moving towards the long-term goal. Most importantly to me, Kaylee shows dignity and pride in dedication to her self-worth. I see her looking inward to evaluate, assess, tweak in an effort to become successful. In addition to her character and personality, Kaylee is the kryptonite cog in the wheel of Seneca High School, who has contributed greatly to our climate and culture. I feel honored to be in Kaylee's life. And now we welcome Miss Katie Gosker.
I have the pleasure of knowing my People's Choice since she was an incoming freshman, and I have watched her grow into an amazing, caring, hardworking young lady. My 2021's People's Choice Award goes to Ella Saudi. has an infectious smile and brings joy to any situation. As part of the volleyball team, Ella played many roles from being a player on the from being a player on the team and my right-hand man on game days. She is always there when you need her and is willing to do anything. I also had the pleasure of having her as a Class 2021 student government representative. Here she would be able to, I can't do this. Here she would help us all, help with all activities, prep work, and that went into it without hesitation. Ella, with your kind heart, determination, and creative ideas, I know you will make a fantastic elementary school teacher. Good luck in your next chapter. And next up, we have Jim Spicer.
The class of 2021 has had an interesting run. The class's fearless leader, Samantha Schulteis, has been so important in making this a great experience for our soon-to-be graduates. So our first 2 years were full of excitement and optimism, which is typical of our Seneca graduating classes. The last 2 years have been different than what we've expected. Through all these times, Seneca's class of 2021 has had Sam, a strong, intelligent, confident, and hardworking student leader who served the school. Sam has been able to take the pulse of the class, communicate ideas clearly with her classmates, and work with adults in a building in a way which is positive and constructive. During the pandemic, we've had events changed, canceled, and rescheduled at sometimes a dizzying pace. In those easy times and tough times, Sam's leadership has been crucial for letting school leaders know what students need as well as what they want. As her teacher, and as one of the senior class advisors, I've been continually impressed with Sam's ability to shine like a star in a room full of bright lights. Sam Schulteis is my People's Choice Award winner. It's been a great 4 years. You've made Seneca High School a better place during your time here. Thank you for all you've done. I know you'll do great things in the future. Up next is Mr. Rob DeLauro.
Good evening. My People's Choice Award nominee is Aubrey Schaefer. Aubrey has been singing with me in my choirs since her freshman year and has made amazing progress throughout her music journey. She is currently in my mixed choir and is a role model for all of my younger singers. I will miss having her beautiful voice and her fun personality in choir. Congratulations. Did you know it was me? Next up is Ms. Sue Johnson.
Good evening. It has been my People's Choice is Elena Spates. It has been a pleasure to watch Elena grow up over the years. She's always been a pleasure to talk with and someone that I've really enjoyed getting to know over the years in my office. We've had some awesome conversations. She always has a smile on her face, and she always brightens up my day when I see her in the hallway. She has been able to overcome some difficult situations while in high school, and I'm super proud of her. She's an insightful person. She's always willing to lend a helping hand to others. She's a student athlete who works hard both in and out of the classroom and on and off the field. I will miss Elena next year, but I wish her continued success and a lifetime of happiness. Congratulations. Up next, speaking for Mr. J. Donahue, is Mr. Mac Carr.
Mr. Donahue's People's Choice Award goes to Joey Steff. As a sophomore, Joe was a starting catcher of our baseball team. He demonstrated some early leadership skills, but unfortunately missed out on his junior season due to COVID. This year, he picked up right where he left off. He is now the unquestioned leader of our baseball team and one of our best players. Having Joe behind the plate is like having an extra coach on the field. Not only is Joe a great baseball player, but he's also a super personable, friendly young man that enjoys the company of his coaches and teammates. I want to wish Joe the best of luck as he continues his baseball career at Immaculata University. Next up is Mrs. Amy Mosser.
Over the course of the past 20 years, I have coached well over 1,000 swimmers, ranging from swim lessons through the national level. One swimmer stands out overwhelmingly above the rest as the most coachable swimmer I have ever had. And for that reason, Cassidy Strittmeyer received my People's Choice Award. You may ask, what does coachable mean? Cassidy is a very talented athlete and a fast swimmer, but that's not it. Cassidy is always positive, always trying 100%, and always striving to improve. I can give Cassidy a technique tip, and not only does she embrace it, but she has some of the best body awareness I have ever seen in her ability to implement it. I can recommend something to her that may seem insane, like try to go best time in the first 2 laps of this 4 laps butterfly, and let's just see what happens. And she does it without any question. Cassidy is a leader in both words and actions in all she does at Seneca. And as a school, we are better for having had her influence here. On an even more personal note, this award doesn't come just from me. Cassidy has been a babysitter for my 2 young boys, Grant and Colin, the only teenager I have trusted with that monumental task, and they absolutely love her. And they sent a little message. I hope this works. Oh, it's not working. Here we go.
Congratulations, Cassidy. We miss you.
Thank you, Cassidy, for being you and making the rest of us better for knowing you. Up next, Mr. David Mayer.
My people's choice is Reed Sweeney. Got you, didn't I? You are quite welcome. Turn that around. Hold on. I can't think of anyone in the senior class that is more deserving than Reed Sweeney for My People's Choice. Every time I see Reed in the hallways, he makes a point to say hello and is always so courteous towards me. Over his time at Seneca, Reed has overcome a lot, and I know that he has worked hard to be in the position that he is in. We've had conversations about what comes after Seneca High School. He has dreams for after Seneca, and I know that he will work hard to see those dreams come to reality. I wish him the best, and I will miss his presence in the halls of Seneca High School. Next up, Renee Collins.
My People's Choice nominee is Dennis Silamitos. And I'm going off script, so if you're reading with the book, it's not in there. It kind of goes with the theme. So have you ever talked to somebody and they say something so ridiculous that you have no idea how to respond? You either audibly gasp, or your eyes are wide open staring at them, or a little head tilt to really try to figure out if that's what they said. And then your inner dialogue is going crazy, but you can't verbalize it because it's completely inappropriate. So you take a deep breath, you blink quickly, and you say, okay. If you can relate to that, that's how about most of our conversations, interactions go. Many people see things as black and white, and they have a timeline of what to do and when it should be done. This year really brought out the gray. Dennis swims in that gray ocean right in the middle, so you never know what's going to happen next. For instance, on meets, I'm like, Dennis, are you in bed? You are in bed. Get out of bed. Oh, you don't have a shirt on. Get back in bed. It's fine if you're in bed. Well, are you eating cereal with your camera off? We can still hear you. Yeah, you have to do the work to get a grade. I know, it's a weird system. That background is ridiculous. Get it off. Wait, that one's even worse. Just shut off your camera. I have to get observed tomorrow. Can you just please think about what you're going to say before it spews out of your mouth? And he did not. After having him in class multiple years, I've grown accustomed to this and just give a chuckle whenever he says something around people that don't know him. I was talking to one of his friends today, and he was telling me about how Dennis accidentally switched lanes 2 different times in swim meets, like where he went to the end, did his turn, and popped up in a different lane. And I thought, that perfectly represents who he is. You never know where he's going to pop up. Although if I was a betting woman, it would be in the hallway, roaming around, trying to find the bathroom. Dennis, you have been a pleasure to have in class, even when you have skipped other classes to come to my class. You have made me laugh, spit out drinks, but more importantly, you reminded me that there is a big gray area and the importance of rolling with it. Life doesn't have to be so black and white. Thank you for keeping me on my toes. Thank you for your humor, honesty, and your conversations. You will be missed. I worried about your future and what your plans were, but after thinking about it for a while, that's not who you are. My hope is that you are always switching lanes and changing it up, and you don't settle. You're going to be just fine. Stay free and wild, child. And next up is Miss Karen O'Neill.
My People's Choice Award is going to Jacob Valanzano. I taught Jacob in Honors U.S. History 1 as a sophomore. For the first half of the school year, to be honest, I didn't really think he liked my class. but every now and then, I would see a spark in him, and I could tell he had a good grasp on the subject. I pulled him aside one day after class to talk to him about how much potential he had, but I couldn't tell whether it had any effect. But bit by bit, I began to see improvement. By the end of the school year, Jacob was a completely different student. He had made the decision to work to fulfill his full potential, and he became a tremendous student in history as a result of that. Since his sophomore year, he's always been someone that I love to see in the hallway and hear how he's doing. Jacob, you may not realize the impact you had on me in my last year in the classroom. It's one that will stay with me for the rest of my career. I'm so excited to see what the future will hold for you, Jacob. I know you still have so much potential, and I know you will work hard to fulfill that potential. Congratulations. Next up is Miss Christina Foster.
Good evening. My People's Choice this year is Joey Valanzano. In the business world, knowing what you want and preparing oneself are necessary to succeed. Joey has done nothing short of this to set himself up for success. Taking several business courses throughout his career at Seneca, Joey has made it evident that he has the making of an entrepreneur. In addition to this, Joey has been seeking guidance to ensure that he is taking the right courses to keep him on a path for his future. I have no doubt that Joey will excel in the business world through his hard work and dedication. Congratulations. That's okay. Last but not least, I would like to bring up Mrs. Renee Collins, speaking on behalf of Mr. Ron Jensen.
We'll stick to the script this time. Anyone who knows Aiden Wells understands why I picked him as my People's Choice. For 2 years in class, Aiden has been an exemplary student. He pays attention, asks questions, and participates in conversations. He says hello coming into class and thank you as he leaves. But those aren't the only reasons that he stands out to me. It's also because he's a mature, kind, and thoughtful young person who thinks about the world around him and his place in it. He cares about it and is respectful of the people around him and in broader society. And again, anyone who knows Aiden knows that about him. Congratulations, Aiden. And I'm going to ask Mr. Dave Mayer to come back up.
Congratulations to all our students who have earned a People's Choice Medal tonight. We are all very proud of you. You should be proud of your accomplishments. And from what I heard this evening, they are varied, and they have had lasting effect on our staff and the people here at Seneca High School. The staff and administration want to remind you to wear your People's Choice Medal at our graduation ceremony. How many days, Ms. Devine? 13 days. There are many people who are instrumental to organizing a program like this. You can find the names of those people on the back of your program. At this point, I would like all People's Choice winners to please stand. Let's all give them a round of applause.